Good morning, West Creek Stampers. This is Kay. This is Friday, March 11th, and I'm going to hop on here and show you how to put together our cards from March and give you a few announcements. Thank you to everybody who came out. Barb Ramsey is the winner of our door prize this month, so when she comes again, she can pick something out of the prize basket or a free class, whatever she would like to do. So the first card we're going to do is the On the Horizon card. These are some others that I made. I did do some scoring on here for decoration, which I haven't done for a while, but I kind of like that look. I used the On the Horizon paper and the stamp set from On the Horizon. I chose to use Thinking of You, but you can use anything you want there. I just used Memento Black. I did just send an email this morning with the PDFs for all of the cards that were done in March. And so if you're not on my email list and you'd like to get that PDF, just shoot me a message or let me know and I can send you that. So this first card, I started with a base of basic black, and that is 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm just going to score that on the half. Now, when you score in this direction or fold these cards in this direction, it is a little bit harder, and sometimes it buckles a bit. So if you want to score that on your scoreboard or your cutting tool, you might be better off. So then I have a square of 3 by 3 from the Horizon paper, and you can use either side of this. I'm going to use this side, and I'm going to use soft suede and use those grasses that are in the stamp set. There is a tree there also, and I'm going to keep it down low because that kind of gives the illusion of water on the bottom. This paper is all very pretty, and depending on what scene you got, I couldn't give everybody the same scene. You can make a scene on that with stamping, or you can just let it plain. That paper is so pretty that it kind of spotlights by itself. So next, I'm going to just stamp some of these birds. And when you look at these birds on the stamp, it is a bit tricky to see which way they are flying up. But you can, and I really don't think anybody will notice if you don't get it on right. Now, I'm going to layer that, and this is a new Stampin' Seal. I'm getting started. I have gotten the flick of the wrist down pat and have learned to really like this adhesive. So you will have 2 pieces of white cardstock in your kit, and actually I didn't pull those out for this one, but I have them cut and ready. I do have a couple extras left if anybody did not get a kit, was not able to make it, and would like one. So I have a plain white for the inside. You can choose to put on there what you want. I'm just going to lay that inside for now. Sometimes I like to just let it laying in there, and then I can stamp it later. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way, and I'm going to get out my cutting tool, and I have lost the name of what Stampin' Up calls this, but Stampin' Up sells these. They have a cutting blade and a scoring blade. I took the cutting blade totally off, and I used some washi tape to mark my marks. So my first score line at the bottom, I believe I'm coming at it from the right direction, is just about 3/4 of the way across, and then the next one is a little more than half. So I use the washi tape because when I was doing your to-go kits, it just made it a little easier if you're only doing one or so, unless you want to have an exact measurement. So there is no right or wrong about how far you go. This is something we used to do. I remember doing this years back. Some scoring right on the card. Okay, so what I did next is lay this on here, and I have my Thinking of You, which I love the font on these words on the stamp set. And I'm just going to lay that on there so I can see about where I want it and stamp it right down. So this you could use for sympathy, you could use for thinking, just like someone is not feeling well. You could use it as a birthday or whatever occasion, or just because. So then I pop this up with dimensionals, and for something this size, I usually like to use 5. People always ask me how many should I use. Well, if you have all the corners supported and then the center, that really should do it. And that card is finished. This was a very easy card, but everybody really liked that paper and how pretty it looks. One of the samples that I made, I used Rich Raspberry for the base on this one, and I thought that looked really pretty too. So I'll finish putting the rest of that together later, but we're going to keep moving on. And so I had an Easter card in the mix this time. And you could use whatever you want there as far as the greeting. This paper and stamp set that I used are Mango Melody. And the DSP is from Flowering Fields. I just think those tulips are so pretty and so appropriate for Easter. So this card is pretty simple to make as well. Our card base is 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have these 2 strips. And actually, it should be the back of this. Some of you will have different ones here. I kind of ran out of the contrasting, and so I used some other things that I had here that I thought went well, because I wasn't going to have time to get another pack of Flowering Fields. So this paper, this DSP from the past, I thought it went well. Okay, so the next thing is to take your thinner strip of cardstock and you're going to fold it in half. Okay, so inside you have a piece of plain white. And again, the measurements are all on the PDF that I sent out. I have a little snippet there that needs trimmed off. My guillotine cutter sometimes is letting a little snip on the edges, and I try to catch that. I guess it's soon time to shop for a new one. He has been well loved and well used, but he's starting to give me a little trouble. So, and then I just put this in the center. Now, some people ask me, should I put this on first or the edge pieces? I really think it's easier to try to get it centered if you put the edge pieces on first. And then we're going to just put this gorgeous paper on the front of that fold. We have a tag. This is from Stitch So Sweetly. And I'm using the Happy Easter from Celebrating You stamp set. And those of you who did the Moveless event will have this stamp set. There are others on there that will work just as well, Or if you want to do something that doesn't fit on that tag, then you can just cut another tag. But the last thing that I did to this is put one of these brushed brass butterflies. My words are not, I can't say that 3 times fast. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of these butterflies and put it on there. And I just love these brass butterflies because they're flat, they're easy to use, they're gorgeous. They set off anything. And so then I popped up the greeting, and that card is done. Now, if you want to do something a little fancier on it, you could add some ribbon, but I didn't do that. Sometimes that just makes the card thicker and harder to mail. Okay, so that's the second card. Okay, our last card that we made is using, let me get the name of it here. It's a hybrid embossing folder that's in our mini catalog. It's called Bouquet of Love. So hybrid meaning it will not only do embossing, but you can lay a framelit in and right in here. And if you want to cut that heart out, plus the center will be embossed. So for the white heart that's in your kit, I cut a I believe it was a 3x3 square and just cut those white heart out. You see the washi tape on my folder? That's what I used to line this piece up, this gorgeous grape up, so that I got the heart in the center. So I just put washi tape on there because with doing so many, I needed a guideline. It was just too hard to try to line them all up straight without something to guide me. Okay, so this card, again, is very simple. Look inside your envelope. With all of your cards, that's where your little butterfly is, with your Mango Melody card. And then this one, you have all kinds of pieces inside. So this goes on the front. And for this, I would use the Tombow glue because with embossed surfaces, the tape runner doesn't always catch well enough to hold, especially if you're not using a stronger tape runner like our Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus. Okay, so that is the front. This piece right here is the outline from your heart. I put that in your envelope to give you to use if you want or not. I just hated to throw them away, and so I thought I'd share them with you. You can make another card with that. And then I took my heart and put it right in the center. Now, you could cut out that purple one if you wanted to and do something else there, have a background, but this is how I chose to do this one. Okay, and then I have some of these flowers are included in that set. And then I just used the regular rhinestones. Whoops. Whoops, that's holding onto my thumb, so that I must have a little adhesive on my thumb. Okay, so sometimes it's hard to just get a spot out. And those, that is on there. I'm going to take your pick tool and pick up these gems and put them on. And my glue isn't quite set up yet, so I need to be careful I don't pick those up. And we're all done with this one except for the tag and the inside. Now, my kids have their anniversaries. Both of my kids were married. Whoops, I'm doing the back side. I'm not seeing too well this morning, I guess. Okay. Both of my kids were married in May, so don't tell them, but this is going to be their anniversary card this year. So I just thought it's very pretty for any kind of occasion, a birthday, let's see, where is my tag? A birthday, a wedding, an anniversary, any type of congratulations. Someone who came used theirs to make a retirement card for someone. And so I'm going to stamp this congratulations right on there. It fits so nice. And that is from Inspired Thoughts stamp set. And I'm using Gorgeous Grape ink. And that is how easy this card goes together. Now we're going to use the ribbon, and mine has flipped over on the floor. Okay, so some of my friends were asking, how did you do your ribbon? Well, I kind of just fold it. I don't fuss a whole lot with it. And I put adhesive on the back of my tag. I'm just going to go over here on my silicone mat. And then I'll try to show you. I kind of did it as slant and then folded it up and again. And this is going to need to be snipped off a bit, but if you have your adhesive on the back there, and you can have that a little closer in if you want, but that's how I like to do it. And then I'm going to use my mini, well, I'll just cut some pieces, but this place right here is where it's nice to use your mini Stampin' dimensionals. And I'm going to put a couple pieces of the edge pieces of my dimensionals. I use those. I don't throw those away, ladies. So, I cut them into smaller pieces, and sometimes I intentionally use them for something that I need a smaller piece. So I'm just going to kind of slap that on there. I could have moved that down a little bit, but guess what? The person getting this card is not going to worry about that like I will. Okay, so I have another card here to show you, and this is a card that I got this week in the mail. I think it's just gorgeous. It is retired paper and so forth, but I think it's just gorgeous. So I wanted to remind you that during March, the challenge is to make a card using green and post to West Creek Stampers, and then at the end, I'll do a random drawing of everyone who has entered. Our March swaps are in. They're sorted. One person is having a little problem right now and not able to get their swaps to me right away. But if you want yours, I can give you all of them except one, and then we'll get that to you later. And then our April swap is going to be purple. If you want to sign up for that, let me know by the end of March. The April class is Tuesday, April 12th. And Thursday, April 14, and same times, 10, 2, and 6. So that's all that I have for you today, ladies, and have a wonderful day.